Welcome back, everybody. It's been a minute, and that's okay. Because the boys are back today, and we are excited to bring another episode. Tell you what, I was sitting there working today, just thinking through what I'd rather be doing. The podcast came to the top of the list. Popey and I were sitting here talking before we got started, and I can't believe that we're knocking on episode 10 coming up here soon. I know we technically split first episode into two episodes because it was longer. So technically this could be episode 10. But it's been fun. It's been a journey. It's been nice to be intentional about spending time in the scene, doing the research, looking at what's going on in Valorant, kind of keeping up to date, then being able to hop on stream, hop on Twitch, hop on the recording, hop on the podcast, and just chat about it. One, it's fun to chat about it with Popey, and then it's fun to be able to take that out and shoot it to you guys. Always appreciate the support and what you guys are doing, the subscribes, the follows, the downloads. We really appreciate it, and it's been a lot of fun. I know Popey really enjoys the time we get to spend doing this, and that was pretty sentimental for the start of a podcast, if I'm being completely honest. Sounded like we were wrapping up the end of a podcast series, and out here just trying to get us started on a Monday afternoon.
10,000 subs, grateful. Thank you.
Well, cool. We have because it's been a little bit, we have some stuff to jump into. A lot has been going on in Valorant, especially the VCT Valorant Champions Tour has kind of gone fully underway. I want to say, I don't know what point we're at right now, if we're 2 weeks in or 2 full weeks in or not, but we've been able to see a good bit of games, a good bit of matchups. We're actually 3 weeks in, which that's crazy. It's already going by so fast. I've got to watch a decent bit of the games. I know Popey's gotten to watch a decent bit of the games as well. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the 3 different leagues so far, what you've seen, what you've not been able to see yet, what you're looking forward to as the season continues.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's kind of sad if you look. 4 of our America, or I guess North America representatives are in the bottom 5. Pretty tragic. 100 Thieves, NRG, Sentinels, EG. Cloud9's the only team that's carrying us up at 2nd place right now. But yeah, I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
I mean, EG, I didn't expect anything from, but NRG, Optic Core, sucking, 100 Thieves, 100. I guess 100 Thieves has only played the NA teams. They lost to Sentinels and they lost to Cloud9. What about NRG? Oh yeah, NRG's lost to Leviathan and they lost to
MIBR.
Brazil. Yeah.
That's tough.
And then EG's 2 losses have been against NA teams too. So, hey, we've been killing each other. It's
yeah,
we've
been doing team damage. Does it shock you to see Loud at the top of things?
Nope. We all knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted, one of the America teams to upset Loud, but Loud beat Cloud9. How close was it? Sort of close.
Yeah, 3 maps. I'd say pretty definitive beatdowns on Ascent and Pearl. I mean, Cloud9 did the work on Split as well, so it's not like it was one sided the whole way. But Loud, I think, is probably the best Ascent team in the world right now. I think there are a lot of really good teams. Saw George Geddes tweet something yesterday in the Sentinels Leviathan game on Sentinels being the best Ascent team in the world, and then they almost choked like a 10-5 lead, and we're down 11-10 or something crazy like that. Loud is the best Ascent team in the world.
Yeah.
Aspas is still insane. I think there was. What's crazy is you have Saucy and Pancata, right? Probably one of the best initiators in the world and one of the best controller players in the world, which would love to get to the fact later that neither of them are playing their roles on Sentinels. You have both of those individuals step away. So my first thought is there's no way they can be as good.
Yeah.
Like there has to be a step down. I never saw chatter of doubt on the new guys that were stepping into those roles for Loud. Um, Maybe because people around the area knew how good these other guys were, but they're nasty. There was no drop off. This is another team who can go win a Masters event. This is a team who
Yeah.
can go win another like world title. Wait, am I seeing that right? On VLR, do you see what the top says? Loud's previous name was
I just read that previously.
Pancata and
Pancata y
Friends.
Amigos.
That's pretty
Yeah.
jokes.
No, it is interesting how these guys kind of just filled their shoes pretty easily. Tui's filled Pancata's shoes and how do you even say that? Kwanzine?
Yeah, there's like
Cow
Kawanzine. Yeah,
Cowanzine filled Saucy's role pretty well.
really well.
It's almost like they haven't skipped a beat. I mean, they made the final against Fnatic in lock-in and they lost 3-2 in a best of 5. It's like,
In their first event as a core together.
yeah, that's like what Loud would have done anyway
Yeah.
if they would have even done that well. So I don't know. I mean, they just are built different in Brazil, I guess. They got people in the pipeline.
Yeah. Anybody on the bottom that you expected to be a little bit further up the list?
I definitely had no high hopes for EG. I had hopium for Sentinel, so I didn't actually think they were gonna do well. NRG, I definitely thought was gonna do better. The crazy thing is, like, they don't even seem like they're doing bad.
Well, they have a 0 round differential. So it's not like they're doing poorly. They're just not
Yeah,
getting the results.
yeah.
Like to
I don't know.
see
I think,
Sentinels on here at a minus 21 round differential and being the worst in the Americas League, that's a tough stat.
yeah. I mean, it is crazy. I didn't, again, I didn't have like high hopes for them. Even though thinking of it, it's like, why aren't they good with
Mm-hmm.
Pancata and Saucy? But I don't know. I think it's just like the way their team is built. Like Zekin and Tens practically do the same thing, like on
Mm-hmm.
paper. I don't think Def's all that good. And so then it's like, okay, they have Pancata and Saucy to like carry, but they
Yep.
can't carry a whole team.
Yep. I think 100 Thieves will get their crap together and start winning some games. They look really good. They shouldn't have lost to Sentinels.
They lost in overtime to
Yeah.
Sentinels in map 3.
100 Thieves will right the train by the end of the year, and I think they'll finish above Cloud9. That's my early pred is 100 Thieves will finish above Cloud9. I also think Leviathan, if Loud ever chokes, Leviathan's going to take that first place spot so fast. Leviathan look tough.
They're pretty solid. Yeah, they're
pretty
crazy.
solid roster.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's the Americas League. Let's jump to APAC and the Pacific League. Any shocks here?
I mean, it's not, I guess, necessarily a shock. I just wasn't aware of how solid Gen G was. I recognize some of the players. Meteor,
Mm-hmm.
he used to play for Crazy Raccoons, I'm pretty sure. Oh, never mind. Northeption. Yeah, I remember when he was on Northeption. God did? Maybe he played on Crazy. No, he didn't either. Oh, F4Q, yo. F4Q was sick. But yeah,
King
it's
was
just like a
also pretty
Korean
solid.
team. Yeah, it's a Korean team that's really good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, King was DRX's
6-man.
was DRX's 6-man, yeah. But yeah, I mean they're super solid. They beat T1, which has a lot of like people we know. Saya player played for the guard.
Smacked T1.
Yeah, Ban, whatever that is.
Yeah, T1 ban.
Bon. He played for the who was it? Knights? Was it Knights?
Was it the
Yeah, it was
Pittsburgh
Knights.
Knights? Yeah. Saya
So yeah,
player,
they're solid.
Zeta, Munchkin.
But global esports sucks. They're not playing SK Rossi, the Indian representative,
Yeah.
which is sad. They played him today actually, but only on one map, and I don't know if he did too well. Let me look.
They beat Talon today 2-0.
Oh yeah, he did all right. 18 and 17. I watched him play on the second map. SK Rossi. I rep SK Rossi.
Big fan of SK Rossi. You see a lot of him popping up on social media and stuff. Just a good guy, like a fun guy to get behind.
Yeah, people love SK Rossi. Oh, I didn't realize Lightning Fast was Indian too. Lightning Fast played today. Nice. But yeah, Talon, I don't know if I'm surprised, but they're pretty horrendous.
Did they not win a game at lock-in? Or did they just play their first map well?
Yeah.
They 2-1 DRX. They beat EG and MIVR.
No, they lost to DRX and lock-in.
Yeah, like 1-2 DRX.
Yeah.
2-0'd
Yes,
EG, 2-0'd MIBR.
Yeah. Yeah, Talon has been a team for a really long time. This group, they used to be called something different. I can't remember what it was, but Sushi Boys, Cruz, not Jit Boys and Garnet, but Patafan and Foxy. They've all been a team for like 2.5 years.
A while.
So yeah, them being 0-4, pretty tragic.
Pretty tough. And a horrible round differential. They're almost getting, 1 round win for every 2 rounds they lose. No one's shocked about DRX being 4-0 with massive gap in round wins. No one's shocked.
They're even better now because they have a guy named Foxy9 and they dropped Zest.
Oh yeah, Foxy's stupid.
Foxy9 is ridiculous. And then they transferred Buzz to be like an initiator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Foxy9 is now, for me, in the argument for like one of the best duelists.
Best Jets.
Yeah, it's hard because Aspas is ridiculous, but Foxy9, in my opinion, is like top 3.
What's crazy is I think there was probably an argument for Buzz being one of the best Jets.
No, I know Buzz was disgusting at Jet. Like he was really good at Jet, but it's like, okay, this kid is even better than the guy who was like an almost world champion. They lost in the semifinals barely to Loud.
Mm-hmm.
And then this kid comes out of nowhere, Foxy9. Absolutely. Winnings $875. That means he's literally played in nothing. Absolutely disgusting. Not afraid of the moment. Steps in, destroying.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if we see this leaderboard really shift that much for the rest of the APAC league. I think it'll stay pretty much like this.
Play every team once.
Yeah.
So there's 10 teams. There's 9 games. Yeah. Secrets. Why is Secret low? They lost to Rex Regim, whatever this team is.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy. Secret did really well at Lock-in. I think Secret's gonna move up, but yeah, I agree. Other than Secret.
Gotcha. And then last but not least, Amaya. Fnatic still winning. Lock-in wasn't a fluke. Shocker to nobody. they're probably a favorite. They've dropped one map so far in the EMEA League. I mean, they're
Yeah.
just
I mean,
they're built
absolutely
they're built so
suspect.
different. But there are
The
some
round differential.
troll teams in EMEA this year because Carmine Corp is
52,
horrible.
52 round differential.
I was listening to the Plat chat, and I hadn't been, full disclosure, watching much of the EMEA League games. I was listening to the Plat chat. I think it was Josh Wilkerson talking about Carmine Corp and saying stuff like they don't even align their buys. They just have terrible economy management because it's just Scream and Navera saying, "Well, I don't need a full rifle. I can just use a Guardian because I'm that nice." So it's just like they're practicing against teams that just aren't at their level, so they can get away with that kind of stuff in scrims. But then whenever you go play against a Fnatic, that just doesn't work. So they're
Doesn't work.
getting absolutely blown out in this league, and it looks so bad. But people thought Carmine Corp was going to be decent. Horrible. People thought Koi was going to be halfway decent. Horrible. Heretics. Horrible. Like there is such a discrepancy between the top 6 teams in this league and the bottom 4 teams in this league. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect Heretics and Koi. I mean, Carmine Corp, and BBL, I expect them to be bad, but Koi has Coldamento, Starkso, Shados, and
Yeah.
Trex. Like those guys are all solid.
And they've played together before. It's not like they're having to iron out new stuff.
I think Trex and Wolfen have. I
Wolfen's
think
new.
I think Trex was G2 was I mean Guild.
Guild.
Yeah. I don't know. They have some solid guys. Heretics is just XG2. They should be better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised Footballist and Vitality are as high as they are. They're
Yeah.
pretty solid. Just this Turkish team, crazy. They beat Vitality, Koi, and Heretics easy. 2-0'd all of them.
Yeah. I mean, it's just funny that the top 6 teams move on, and the top 6 teams in EMEA all have a positive round differential, and the bottom 4 teams have a round differential that is worse than minus 24 or 23. So that's a pretty big gap between your top teams and your bottom teams. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But one thing that I wanted to point out is that Navi ran Yoru in a Champions Tour game against BBL. Were they trolling because BBL's hot trash?
0-4. Horrific.
Possibly. But they ran it
Top fragged.
and won. Well, it's CNET. CNET's kind of nice. CNET's kind of
Top
him.
fragged.
They ran Yoru and won. And we don't see that very often. So it got me thinking.
Ever.
How has Yoru been faring in the professional, semi-professional Valorant world that we live in? We got to see him played once in all of the Champions Tours games so far. He won. He won his map with Na'Vi. So I started looking at all the different challenger stuff. And I have my little sticky note that I'm going to put off the screen so it looks more professional. In NA challengers, Oxygen is the only team to have run Yoru. They've run him like 3 or 4 times. They have never won a map with him.
Mitch, right?
Yeah.
Plays.
Or Penny.
Penny?
No, sorry.
Mitch played once.
I'm tripping. You threw me off. Oxygen's never won with Yoru. In EMEA Challengers East Surge, nobody has played Yoru. In the France Revolution Challengers, nobody has played Yoru. In Spain Rising Challengers, nobody has played Yoru. In Doc Evolution, the German Challengers, Yoru is the only agent in that entire league that has not been played once. Portugal Tempest, 0 plays. Northern Europe Polaris, 0 plays. Turkey Berklik, never played. The Italian league, he has been played by 2 teams. One of them has never won a map with him. GMT Esports have apparently unlocked the magic of Yoru and have gone undefeated when using Yoru in their comps in Split 2. They run Yoru in a Haven comp that is double duelist. They're running him in a Jet, Yoru, Sofa, Cypher, Omen. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. But for the Yoru lovers out there, if you need a team to pull for, and you think that you are looking in APAC because that might be the only time that you can see a Yoru on Bind or maybe a Yoru on Fracture, you're looking in the wrong spot. You need to go look at the Italian Rinascimento League, Challengers League, and you need to go watch GMT Esports cook people with Yoru as a second duelist. I don't understand. There's 2 thoughts that I have here, Popey. One is I want Yoru to work.
Same.
I want people
So
to be
fun.
successful in playing Yoru. And theoretically, there should be a way for him to work. Like he should be good enough for people to play with. But every time people do it, besides GMT Esports, which they're sitting on a pedestal right now, that people just don't find success. And is it because his style of play is so different to what everybody else is running? Like, you'd have to switch your entire mindset of how to play Valorant. Is it he just doesn't have a strong enough toolkit? Is it just people aren't willing to dedicate the time? I'm lost at why it's not working, and I want to get your thoughts on what you think would need to change for Yaru to be successful. I want to say at a wide scale, but at this point, we'll take any sort of scale.
Yeah, I'll reference Thinking Man's Valorant first of all.
It's a great reference.
Great guy. He did a Yaru study at one point, like a while ago, and basically his conclusion was Yaru isn't viable because the way you have to play Yaru, or like the only real way you can use Yaru is by like TPing, like into sight, like throwing TPs that get behind people, almost like a jet to like get in. But those TPs are so predictable and they're not as like fast as Jet's dash, that they put you in danger. And so because of that, it just doesn't really work. So like on Haven, there's that, I can think of that one TP where you can throw it down A long and then it gets you to hell. Like that'll work maybe once, maybe twice. But then after that, if you do that same TP, it doesn't matter if you flash it. It doesn't matter how you flash it. Like they're going to be ready for it. And because there's a delay with you coming out of it, somehow you're going to die. And so that's similar on any map. Like there's only so many ways you can throw the TP, like, and it glides across the ground and gets you to like back sight. Jet, you can entry the exact same way every time with the dash smoke, but it's instantaneous. You never don't have your gun and like being able to shoot, and also you're protected by your smoke. And so because of that, like it makes it viable as like an entry. That's just one thought, but I think also the only way Yaru could really be useful, in my opinion, is as an initiator.
Yeah.
And so I would say he needs more initiating power. He needs more info power. Maybe even convert him just like out of being a duelist and into being an initiator, and give him 2 of the fake clones, double people. He can just shoot out as many Yaru people as he wants.
You know what happened is if you gave Yoru 2 clones, you'd have everybody's favorite flash player Nosy finding out how to quad flash people with Yoru.
Yeah. People be doing some crazy things, but it's like that's the only like entry info kind of initiator thing, and it is really good. It's like a raise Roomba kind of. It goes in ahead of you, and if someone shoots it, it tells you where they are, and it flashes them. So like if you have two of those, that would be so broken. Like two dudes walking ahead of you,
Yeah.
and they have to shoot them because they don't know. And then eventually you could do iterations of that where like you have one walking this way and you're the second one, and they're like they're both clones, they're both clones, and then they don't shoot it, and then they shoot the left guy eventually when you finesse them once, and then the next time you're like I'm gonna be the left guy, and this is gonna be the fake one or something like that. And you can just constantly play mind games.
Yeah.
So that would be so fun.
Um, I think I'm gonna go back and watch the GMT esports VODs if they're out there to just understand
How they
how
won.
they're playing it. Now, I mean, it makes sense that they're playing it under a jet just by looking at the comp and understanding the game. You'd imagine it's playing under the jet as far as pure duelist versus leaning towards initiator. Um, but GMT, I think, was first in their division. I want to say that they were first in the
Yeah, they were.
Italian
I
league.
just checked 6-0.
Yeah, undefeated in the Challengers League that they're playing in. So, hey,
They play
maybe
best of ones.
yeah, it's kind of crazy, but they're doing something right. So, um, yeah, maybe we should all take the time to watch some
Check out
GMT esports
GMT.
VODs and understand how to play Yoru. You might learn something, and you might confuse your North American friends that you play against on why all of a sudden you're so successful in Haven. But that's the perks of listening to the Two Bots One Game podcast, where we scrounge around the Challengers Leagues all around the world and understand how you can play agents that are completely unplayable. Um, do you have anything else for us today, or you think we're good?
Yeah, there was something I wanted to talk about, but
Okay,
I can
throw it
probably
out
be
there.
on it next week. Okay. Well, I was looking at the three uh, VCT leagues, and I was looking at the percentage of pick rate, the worst three from each league, and there were some ties. But then I looked at the ones that are like in all three leagues as being bottom three, or the ones that were only in two. So
Hmm.
the ones that are in all three leagues as being, we're just gonna call these the worst agents.
But it's really least played, right?
Least played, yeah.
Okay.
Chamber, Reyna, Phoenix. And then the ones that are in two are Yaru, Brim. So I'm kind of curious. We can just focus on Chamber, Reyna, Phoenix. We can make this snappy.
Okay.
What needs to change about Chamber to make him viable?
I already think we went on this rant a couple episodes ago, but he's not a sentinel right now. He's just useless. He has one thing to stop site push or to hold site, like all other sentinels have, is an ability to hold site. And whenever you don't think Sage has an ability to hold site, she has a wall and a slow orb, which is more than enough to hold site. KJ has the whole site set up. Cypher has trips and site set up. Chamber has none of that. He's got one trip, which you can smoke off. So make him an actual sentinel. You tried to make a sentinel a duelist, and it worked really freaking well. And then you made him neither a sentinel nor a duelist.
He's just nothing. He's
That's
nothing.
yeah, that's not the answer. So Chamber obviously just, I think they're just not touching him right now because they don't want to acknowledge the fact that they over nerfed him, and they don't want to get in the habit of making changes all the time. Reyna, they're not going to make any changes to Reyna because she runs comp games, even though she's not played in the pro league. If you buffed Reyna to make her more playable, it would actually be the worst thing in the world.
That would be
So
so annoying.
that has to be why she's frozen. Is just
You're
because of
right.
where she sits in comp right now. Phoenix kind of surprises me. I feel like there was a little bit of time where we saw Phoenix start to get more playtime, whether that be on um, Pearl a little bit, maybe Split. Trying to think of where else I had seen Phoenix play. But, I feel like somebody ran Phoenix on Haven. Any of these like really attack sided orb maps, I think there's more validity to run Phoenix than what people are running. Third round ult, insane. We talked
Yeah,
last podcast about Cypher ult, and now 100 Thieves does such a good job of farming those ultimates. Phoenix, same thought process. Go farm some
yeah.
ults, use your
It
free
being at
ult.
6 is like so big.
Yeah, especially now that they buffed the ult, and if you have shields going into it, you get to use your shields in the ult. Like, I'm kind of surprised he has not played now with the transition of Bind back and Icebox out. Maybe he floats a little bit more on Bind. We'll see. Where Chamber was like the solo op for sure, that's probably going to go to Jet. So if Jet's in it, maybe not. Raze is the best duelist on Bind. So if you're already looking at Jet for op potential, Raze for just being great on Bind, do you justify a Phoenix? Probably not. I mean, so I don't know. Phoenix for me is tough. I just feel like Phoenix could be really good if a team prioed Phoenix utility, but I don't think at any sort of level we're seeing teams do that. And there could be some thought processes behind it. That's not where they feel is the best place to invest effort.
I agree. My quick solutions are Chamber, give him 2 trips again and make them global again.
Yep.
Don't change anything else. Reyna, I have no idea what the solution is.
I mean, she can't be changed. There's no way.
I have no idea what the solution is. I literally have no idea. Phoenix, Molly and Wall both heal. That might be so strong.
To 100.
Yeah, I was gonna say 100. Maybe just Molly heals for 100, and then his flash lasts a little bit longer. Cause his flash like instantly goes away. It's like 1.4 seconds, and breaches is like 3.2. It's like
Yeah, yours is pretty long as well.
But yeah, the Molly healing to 100 would be big. I'm gonna have to think about what to do with Reyna.
You literally can't. I would love if whenever we post this, I would love to hear what ideas you guys have to make Reyna stronger in pro play without busting her in comp even more than she already is.
Make her more tactical and not
Brain
more
dead.
Smurf friendly.
Yeah. So that's your challenge for today. That's what we can leave on is the challenge of how to buff Reyna without actually buffing her. Cool.
Tactically buff.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining us today and downloading the podcast like I mentioned earlier. Don't forget to check us out on Twitter at 2bots1game. That's all spelled out, or on YouTube at 2bots1game. We appreciate the support, and we will catch you guys next time. Later.
Peace.